Welcome at Tech Video. My name is Balaj and we are
interviewing relevant industry professionals at this year.
A well-known Asian car brand here at the IAA in Munich, and they will tell us how they are going to lead the AI race in the automotive industry here in Europe, and actually in Asia they are quite strong and quite well bought and thought of already, and here they want to take over from the legacy brands like Mercedes, BMW and the big brands and establish themselves as one of the biggest car brands in the next few years. And we will hear now some thoughts about that, how they are going to do that in this little interview series. So let's start. Welcome from the IAA in Munich. We are at the International Automobile Convention with XPeng in the background. I have an interview partner here from the Ries Group. Who are you?
We are the Ries Positioning Strategy Consultancy. We were founded in 1963 by Al Ries.
Wow.
And our speciality is to position brands in the mind of the customer. So we have a big business in America, Europe and China. So we have our biggest office in China actually. Because the Chinese brands are very interested in positioning themselves, and that means that you have to establish your brand in the perception of the consumer.
You already mentioned the keyword China. Behind us is a Chinese company, and we see at this convention a lot of German companies, but more and more Chinese.
Yes.
Maybe even more than half of the companies that are at this convention are Chinese. Yes. We have seen in the last few years really big development, especially in Asia, with electric cars.
Yes.
But there's also hybrids and other positions that need to be filled. What is the most promising maybe area that Chinese brand can establish themselves in?
I think it's coming from China. It's about 50% of the fleet in the streets are electric now of cars. And the Chinese government has been against the hybrid technology. They want to go for electric, full electric.
That's very good.
So that's we've had around 300 electric car brands in China. It's been an explosion, but of course there's a tough competition over there, and the brands are now looking at expanding outside of the Chinese market.
The competition is also very strong here, but the only growing market I think in 2025 was Asia. Here it's a little bit declining.
Yes.
Also in the US.
Yes.
Still the brands trying to come here because there's now an opening position to fill, or?
Absolutely. I think we see that the market is clearly going electric. What's stopping a little bit, particularly in the German market and Europe, is the insecurity at the moment. I think both consumers, politicians are insecure about where is this going, and I think the industry here, if we look at the established brands, they are very insecure at the moment. I think
also maybe the electric grid a little bit, that people are feeling insecure about.
Absolutely.
If I buy an electric car,
Yes.
where can I charge it?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, in Asia also there's a lot of people living in huge cities, but the grid is a little bit more fit already for charging more EVs.
I think the difference in China is that the government has been subsidizing charging from the very beginning. So they actually built a charging network before the streets were filled with electric vehicles. And I think that's more they have a clear intention. They want to go electric. And I think that's a little bit hard for the Chinese brands to understand that Europe is so slow in the conversion going to electric. So that's why we have a couple of brands here. I think, we are involved because we work in both in China and here. And
you're on both sides very good.
Yes, we're trying to bridge over what we see is possible in China, and we see immense technological development at the moment. I think even the established brands here, the German brands, are a bit nervous about the quality that some of the Chinese, and particularly XPeng, is a very nice engineering company. So
of course they learned a lot. So you mentioned XPeng.
Exactly.
We should check them out a little bit closer, because they're beautiful cars, and also I'm seeing a drone up there.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of R&D also happening in China.
Yes.
Maybe even here in Europe.
You know, yesterday was the media day here, and opening the IAA. And what we are proud of working with XPeng is that it's actually one of the first Chinese companies that show a face. We had the founder and chairman of XPeng. He's here in Munich, Mr. Xiaopeng.
I will try to grab him someday.
Yes, yeah, you should. He was actually in town just before, and I think it's a bit unusual to see a company leader from the Chinese companies, because the other brands are just here with the brand and their car. What we want to do as we work with positioning, we want to establish the brand in the mind of the customers.
Or I saw even other brands with ambassadors, but that doesn't,
You know, people want to see who's behind the brand.
Yes.
And we know that, I mean, the most famous electric brand is Tesla, and we have Elon Musk, our founder here.
But it's good and bad for a brand sometimes.
Absolutely, yes. So we try to see that Mr. Xiaopeng is a little bit the opposite of Elon Musk.
That's good.
So
More reliable maybe in his
Exactly.
decisions.
He's a very thorough, and he comes from the AI and AI side. So that's why he sees cars in a slightly different way, I think, than.
So you're helping XPeng also to get into Europe and build a bigger brand and be an established company. But what mistakes do a lot of newcomers, up to what you've maybe seen as a consulting firm, what mistakes do companies do when they come to the European market?
Well, I think the two biggest mistakes are, the one is trying to appeal to everybody. That won't work. A brand has to be focused in order to own a position in the mind. And the other thing is trying to do it all at once. It takes time to build a brand. No big brand was an overnight success, even so you have the feeling afterwards.
We have seen that with other American brands that try to enter the market, but even in Asia, it took a while to build a bigger brand for the big companies. XPeng I heard a few times already since I go to automotive conventions like this. But on the street, I see also a few cars already from XPeng, so it's nice to see that they're building already a strong brand.
Yeah, they started the process, but I think that's important. You really have to see brand building and brand success as a process. So in a way, the one thing you try is to move from one leadership to the next leadership. One of the best examples, in my opinion, is Facebook. Mm-hmm. Because when Facebook started, they were not the biggest social network. That was MySpace. But Facebook was the market leader in Harvard. It was the social network only for Harvard. It was the first leadership.
They found their niche.
Yeah, but it was a powerful leadership position. And from Harvard, they moved to the Ivy League, the 8th best universities in the USA on the East Coast. And from the Ivy League to universities, and from universities to everybody. And I think that's the key in brand building. To say, okay, what is my first leadership, and how can I build the next bigger leadership, and then the next bigger leadership, in order to become a big and powerful brand.
And what tip did you give XPeng for doing the same? Like, did they start in the high end or the mid brand, or is it the AI focus that I heard before from your colleague that is pushing them forward in Europe very much, or what's the key factor for XPeng?
Well, I think crucials will be key markets like Germany, France, and United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So there you have to build your leadership, and also
quality, I guess, maybe.
And in a mind, and this is also, I think, a process in every country. So you cannot try to do it overnight. You really have to move on and on and on with a strong, powerful idea. And I think that from the global positioning of XPeng with this AI mobility, you have to grow this position outside of China.
And XPeng also is putting a lot of money into R&D, even more than maybe other European brands, and therefore they will have a good position also in that way, that they are ahead of the old school brands.
Yes, the one thing is that you find a positioning idea you focus on, and the next thing, of course, is you have to invest in this idea. It's not only a static position in the mind, it's a direction for a company. So you have to say, okay, what do we have to do outside the company in terms of PR, advertising, sales? But you also have to think about what are you going to do inside the company, like R&D. It's really a process, outside and inside the company.
Outside and inside the company, but also outside and inside of China or Asia, I guess, because
of course.
Way bit different market in Europe or even in the US. I don't know how the whole world is like looking different in cars. We're using it differently in the US for long drives. Here it's, I guess, more short drives. Smaller cars maybe here are more on the focus.
Yeah, I think that's a big challenge, not only for XPeng, for every brand. In one term, we live in a global economy. We have global media like YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp,
yes.
WeChat, and a lot of others. So that means in former times, you maybe had different positions in different countries. That won't work anymore.
Yes.
you have to find one global positioning idea, but then you maybe have to translate this idea in advertising and PR in slightly different ways. One example I like really is BMW, because BMW stands for driving. In the United States, they have the slogan, the ultimate driving machine, and in the UK, driving pleasure. So they have two different slogans in two countries that are mainly speaking the same language. So you have a slightly adaptation. And I think that's important also for XPeng. One global idea, and then of course, you have to think country by country, how can I dramatize this idea so that it will work in this country?
And there you're helping very much XPeng as the consulting group?
Yes, especially now in Germany and in Europe.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So the new interview partner here directly from XPeng. What's your name and what's your position?
My name is Zhao, and we are the strategy partner with XPeng. And in fact, we have cooperated 2 years early, and from China, and then in the global, especially in Europe, in Germany. Yes.
So you're basically helping them to find their space in Germany.
Yes. And we think Germany is very important in global, as it's the main market and is the most important market in the world. I think if XPeng wants to go to the global,
it makes sense because Germany has very good brands.
Yes,
They built up
yes.
over 100 years. I get Mark very good brands, but now you are coming and you of course want to take advantage of that, maybe even in terms of building quality cars in Europe. I heard there's maybe a factory even built soon here in Europe.
Yes, we know like the market here and the consumers here is quite different from China. Yes, in China we are talking about AI mobility, but as we know here,
Skepticism.
People cares about the quality. Yes, and it's quite different. So we have find what customer here wants, and we will repositioning the brand.
It's not easy because you buy a car and then we use it for 20 years, 30 years, and AI
Yes.
is only here for a few years, and we
It's
don't know.
really a tough problem and a tough task for us to solve. Yes.
But as a new brand, you have the opportunity now to show people that with
Right,
AI, you're
right.
in the right spot, and maybe you can build a car that's made for the future also in the
Yes.
term.
Yes.
Not only 2 years, but for the next 10 years, because
Right.
China has a big expertise in this area, and Germany does not. So here you have a nice focus that you can get people to buy your car. And I see a lot of XPengs already in Germany driving.
Yes.
I just sent your colleague yesterday a picture. I was at a different convention.
Good. Okay.
A beautiful XPeng car. I'm like, oh wow! I see them on the streets now everywhere. It's quite nice to see.
In fact, we have talked with several XPeng consumers in the morning, and they all say, although before they purchase the car, they don't know what is XPeng. They just know XPeng is a Chinese brand. But when they bought the car, they feel, whoa, it's cool. And before they drive some BMW, Mercedes-Benz, but when they got the XPeng, for example, G9, they feel the car is very good.
So the battery technology, for example, is getting better and better nowadays. So the future for XPeng is which area? Of course, more range, or just AI, or what is your next big plan? I saw even a robot and a drone on the other side of the stage.
I think in the future, maybe the self-driving is our purpose to make it use in Germany. But for now, because the politics and something else, and maybe the long range is very important and faster charging. Yes, that's our advantages.
That's a very big difficulty in Europe, I guess, the charging. There's no charging network like in Asia yet.
Yes.
Will XPeng maybe also expand in that area, not only building cars, but helping the infrastructure?
Of course, it's very important. It's for the communities of customers, and they can use it everywhere.
Okay, that will be very nice. I'm excited to see that. How do you see other brands position themselves in Europe? Who's your biggest competitor?
I think Tesla. Of course, Tesla, yes. Tesla is very strong here, and it sells many cars here. And in the customers' minds, Tesla is the top one brand. Yes. So
but there also always needs to be a competitor that is pushing Tesla to be better.
Yes.
Or maybe you can overtake them in that.
Yes, that's our purpose. Yes, Tesla is good, but it's old. We are young. Yes, we have more new technology here. So and we have a better price. So we have confidence to beat them.
So it's like with BMW always pushed Mercedes, and there's Audi and all that.
Yes,
Sometimes they push
exactly.
each other.
Right.
Here it will be the same, hopefully.
Yes.
And there is also, I think, German partners invested in XPeng also, so they also believe in you a little bit, as far as I know. Not majority stake, but
Right.
you are getting also some German insights, then I guess, from there for how to enter the German market.
Yes, we will do that.
And this was the conclusion here with the XPeng company. I hope you got a lot of useful information about what they are achieving here in Europe, what they are achieving as a company, and where the future goes here with AI and this company. And I'm really excited to see if the Europeans will really quickly develop a love for this brand, because I think they have a lot of potential, and especially with these modern cars for a really good price, they have a really good chance to overtake even the European brands. If you like this video, leave a like, and of course I see you in the comment section if you have any questions, and also I would love a subscription here on Tech Video. So till next time, my name is Balázs, and see you guys around.